Fight fans, here we are. It is the Ultimate Fighter Season 31. Feels like this was announced quite a ways back, and I mean, I guess it was announced quite a ways back then. I don't remember exactly when I first heard the announcement on this. It seems like it's been 6 months, a year out, though. Hello to everybody in the chat. By the way, we got the hardcores in the building tonight, in the show tonight. Who was watching, and this is kind of an AIDS thing, I guess, too, because this has been a long time ago now. Well, it's just been 18 years, I guess. Who was watching season 1? Back when this thing began, I mean, who was watching among you guys? I know I was watching. I got my wife to sit down and watch this with me. She was not crazy excited about it, but she did sit down and watch it with me anyways. She found it a lot more exciting than the fight. She didn't enjoy the fights so much as she enjoyed this, the reality show part of it, which was this. Reality shows were still fairly new when this came out. You had The Real World, from over on MTV. It had been there for quite a while, and actually I went to school with, she was a few years back of me, but I went to school with one of the girls that was on the first season of The Real World. She was just as bitchy in real life as she was on the show, so I guess good pick for the drama. She ended up not being the greatest person, but that's neither here nor there. They really set the bar high in the first season, though. What's up, Ecombo? What do you mean I'm not doing this tonight? It doesn't even start for another 22 minutes. Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So... Little Oreo, what's going on? When are you showing and it hasn't started yet? Like I mentioned, we got some tough trivia. I'm going to wait till more people get into the chat, though. Usually we have a pretty good-sized crowd here on weekends. We'll see who turns out for the Tuesday Tough crowd. I said, got a lot of trivia. The first Tough, 2005. So I was 26 years old. It was January 17, 2005. And it was the most amazing thing on TV at the time. As far as a TV show, I was so excited because I grew up a huge fan of Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee's biggest movie, his last movie, his movie that he died days before it would go into the theater. But the idea of Enter the Dragon was... You had a Han, the guy who ran this tournament, Han's tournament. They would talk about Han's tournament and this. And Han was this international drug syndicate guy, but he invited fighters in different arts from all over the world to fight in this tournament every year. And as soon as they described the Ultimate Fighter to me, they're like, hey, they're going to take these fighters from all over the world and they're going to put them in this house and they're going to make them live together, which they do in Enter the Dragon. They don't all live as close together, but they all live in the same building and area and thing. It's a little bigger area than that. But I thought, wow, this is real life Enter the Dragon. This is so awesome. And that first season, the amount of characters that came out of that first season, it made the UFC. It made the UFC. I know a lot of you have probably heard the history of this several times, but when the Ultimate Fighter came, when they wanted to put it on Spike, first of all, when they wanted to put it on TV, nobody would put it on TV. Dana White had to actually, it wasn't Dana White at times, it was Fertitta Brothers that were funding it, but Dana White had talked the Fertitta Brothers into getting into this venture. And the UFC was on the brink of bankruptcy. It wasn't making any money. It was banned. I know one time it was banned in 48 states. I think at the time when Ultimate Fighter started, it may have been banned in 48 states. It was banned in a lot of states. I know that. And then you end up with these super charismatic characters, from Chris Lieben to Josh Koscheck, to Stephan Bonner, to Diogo Sanchez. I mean, that first season was just so special, and it did good. It did obviously good things. It saved the UFC. That fight between Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner, it saved the UFC. Like, literally, like, they were done. Nobody would put them on TV. They actually had to pay $10 million to get the show put on TV. Econ Bo says, Diego was badass back in the day. I remember thinking you'd be champion one day. Watched every episode. Nice, brother. Yeah, I watched every episode, and then I still have the DVD set down in my personal DVD collection. I don't save a lot of DVDs because, you know, who watches them anymore? But Money Made Fast, hey, how do you watch this for free? I know it's going to be on ESPN Plus and ESPN. If you don't have one of those, I can't really tell you on YouTube how to do it. But if you search enough around on Google, you'll find it pretty quickly. I I don't want to upset YouTube because I'm trying to grow my viewership, and they don't exactly like you sending people to pirate sites. But if you stick around, if somebody has a link, I will not put it here, but what I will say is I will put it in the Facebook fan group. The Fights with Friends Facebook page. And I'm going to give you guys a link to that. And I have it set to public. You can post from day one. I have not had a lot of issues with people, making bad posts. If you post crap that you know shouldn't be on there, you're going to get kicked out of the group. So just please don't do that. Make sure, it's fight related stuff. But that's the Facebook group there. And we'll talk about it as we go through this. And if somebody has something, they can put it there in the Facebook group. I don't want to say too much. Like I said, I don't want to get YouTube in trouble. I don't want to get myself in trouble with them. What's going on? PR up in the house. Hey, we got 10 here. We get to a dozen, we'll start trivia. I got a pretty good set of trivia questions tonight, all TUF related. Yes, it's on ESPN Plus PR. ESPN Plus and Big ESPN. What's up, Rivera? Hey, homies. I'm almost out of work. Did I miss anything? Hey, what's going on, my friend? No, it has not actually started yet. I started 30 minutes early. Kind of do like a pre-show. And we're going to bust into some trivia here in a minute. We're about to start trivia. You're almost out of work. I'll wait for a few minutes here to start trivia. We're at 14 though, so I'm going to give about 5 minutes. We'll start trivia. Nice, perfect timing. Love a good pre-show. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining. All right, 14 up in the chat early. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button, guys. We may not make it by 4th of July, but we're really looking to get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm working with the Wounded Warriors Project. They help, veterans find homes, get help for PTSD, TBI, and other mental issues. Wounded Warrior Project also, helps with research to move forward, the research on brain injuries, which is TBI, concussion-related injuries, PTSD, things that fighters and other combat sports athletes also face. So I feel like it's a good charity for this channel. But we do have to get to 10,000 subscribers. That's a YouTube rule. I didn't know that when I partnered with the Wounded Warrior Project. And we'll do something for them, like on the Facebook or Twitter, we'll do some advertising things. Probably, like 4th of July weekend. Doesn't look like we're going to hit the 10,000 subscribers by then. But we will be doing, some work with them and some charity stuff and some opportunities to donate to them and help out there. But back to the Ultimate Fighter. Like I said, yes, 2005, January 17th. The first show, none of us knew what to expect, but damn was I excited. I mean, you showed me 16 fighters in 2 different weight classes are going to get in there, and they're going to fight against each other. I mean, like this was my dream show at 26 years old. And I was grinning from ear to ear. The first 4 seasons I watched religiously, and then I'll admit, it did get kind of stale. And I didn't end up watching every season. Seasons 1 and 4 were my favorite. Because I'll tell you, season 1, of course, no explanation needed. It was new. The characters, I still feel like it was a blessing and a curse. It was definitely a blessing for the UFC because it kept them in business. It was a blessing and a curse for TUF because, it made it popular, but it set the bar so high that I don't think they really ever got back there. I think the closest they probably got was season 4, though. I really liked season 4. You had some characters in that one too, of course, and you had Shoney Carter and Matt Serra and, a lot of good guys in that season. We've had some of the guys from TUF in interviews on this channel. Hola! Greg, what's up, Greg Brimstone? Are they fighting, or is it only a video they filmed together? Conor and Michael Chandler are not fighting tonight. So they're going to introduce us to the 16 fighters. I have the roster. We're going to go over the roster here pretty soon. It's 8 veterans and it's 8 prospects. And it's going to be a lot of like veteran versus prospect matches. I really like that idea. Because like I was saying, I liked the first season and the 4th were my favorites. First, of course, all prospects. Nobody knew who anyone was. The talent pool was amazing because the UFC was so new, but there was a lot of people training. So you ended up with so much talent. Kenny Florian, as I mentioned, Stephen Bonner, Josh Koscheck, and Mike Schwick, Diego Sanchez, as you mentioned. Just a plethora of incredible fighters, incredible coaching. It was just like something we'd never seen before. I'd never seen anything like that before. Not in real life. This was like a movie. And you're going to show the video of them announcing the fighters. I didn't have a video of them announcing the fighters. But no, they're not fighting tonight, Morgan Floyd. Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler are not fighting tonight. They'll have an episode, the first episode of TUF 31 tonight. We'll watch along for a reaction, but we're going to have trivia starting now. Now that we're starting to actually lose some people, I think we better go into trivia. So everybody refresh your browsers. I'm going to time you down. Give everybody a few seconds. I'm going to count down to 5. So refresh your browsers as soon as you hear this. I'm going to count down to 5. Give people a few more seconds in case you're behind in the stream. And then we'll start our trivia. So 5, 4, 3, 2, yes, it's the first episode of the season, L'Oreal. Yeah. Oh no, Conor and Chandler, they won't be fighting. If they fight, it won't be till after the season. All right. Question number 1. This is a 2-parter, so this is worth 2,000 points. Who were the first two winners ever of TUF. Who won in each of their... You have to have both names, so if you can think of one right now, don't put up one because you're going to give it away. Try to remember the other one. Who were the first two ever TUF winners? There was one at 155, I believe. No, excuse me, it was 185. It was 185 and 205. Oh, Billy Hughes up in the house. What's up, my man? Yes, Sanchez and Griffin. Jay Rivera had it. Ecombo, you had one of them. But Billy Hughes on the board. 2,000 points out of the gate. All right, second question. This one should be a speed test. So get your hand on your keyboard for 1,000 points. What network was the first Ultimate Fighter on? The Fertitta brothers had to pay them $10 million to put the first season on. This was a very new network. It kind of made this network. Ecombo, you got it. Spike TV. You run a cost check to win season 1, Billy? I hated cost check back then. I don't hate him now, but at the time I hated him because I was a Chris Liebman fan, but admittedly I was a little bit of a punk compared to what I am now. So, all right, Ecombo on the board with 1,000 points. Next question, also season 1. I want both names. Who were the first two coaches in season 1? Who were the first two coaches in season 1? We need them both. And they were world champion and former world champion at the time. They would fight each other at the end of it. One of these guys has been on the channel, by the way. Billy Hughes, yes, another 2,000. Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture. Billy cleaning up on trivia so far. All right, we got 6 minutes till this goes live. Let's bust through some more trivia. All right, what season was Rashad Evans a contestant on? Rashad Evans was a TUF winner. What season did he win? What season of TUF did Rashad Evans win? It was not season 3. Billy Hughes, it was season 2. And for an extra 1,000 points, who did Rashad Evans beat in the heavyweight finals? It was a big dude. A big dude who made a really popular but controversial food documentary a few years back. Don't Google, please. I'll give you guys just a few seconds. Who did Rashad Evans defeat in season 2 to win the finale? This guy was like 6'5". He was huge. He came out with Game Changers, I believe, was his documentary. And it was on veganism and had Arnold Schwarzenegger, a bunch of other guys. He came on Rogan and talked about it. All right. Well, that was long enough to go. No, not Sean Salmon. It was Brad Imes. Brad Imes was the fighter that he defeated there. All right, next question. What season was Nate Diaz in? This is actually the first season that I didn't watch the whole thing. George St Pierre lives in my city. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm a huge George St Pierre fan. One of the coolest fighters ever. Was not season 3. No, that's awesome, man. Jay Rivera, you are correct. Season 5. All right, Jay Rivera on the board with 1,000 points. Next question. Who was the first Ultimate Fighter winner to win a world championship? There's been, I believe, 13 world champions that have came out of TUF, but who was the first? Not the first one to win an Ultimate Fighter, but the first Ultimate Fighter winner to win a UFC championship. It was not Rashad, actually. Billy Hughes, yes, it was Matt Serra. PR, that was a good answer. And Forrest Griffin. So the reason Matt Serra won it is because in season 4, the comeback, it was all veterans that were getting a second chance. And the fighters at the end of it got a fight for a championship. And Matt Serra, he had a rematch with Shoney Carter. Good friend of mine. He's been on the show a couple of times now. You know, he defeated Matt Serra and, defeated Shoney Carter, and everyone else, you know, ran through the house and then landed that legendary shot against George St Pierre. Still one of the biggest upsets in the history of the UFC. But that's 6,000 points now for Billy. You got to give these other guys a chance here, Billy. Don't let him embarrass you guys. All right. Next question. Also that same season. So season 4, this UFC veteran earned a title shot against Anderson Silva, and then he missed weight. This was the other Ultimate Fighter winner in season 4. Phone keeps freezing, so they should have a shot. I hear you. Billy Hughes, yes, it was Travis Lutter. Oh, E-Combo, you were right there, brother. My boy Travis Lutter is Billy, yes. All right, 7,000 on trivia for Billy. I was joking, Billy. I didn't mean to not answer the questions. But all right. TJ Dillashaw was actually knocked out in season 4 in the season 14 finale by this fighter. Of course, he went on to become champion, but he did not win the Ultimate Fighter. He was knocked out in the finale. Who knocked out TJ Dillashaw in season 14 to knock him out of the house? It's going for Edwin DeWeese that season. Who would you guys say is the best UFC fighter? Like best of all time? I mean, I would say probably Demetrius Johnson. E-Combo, you are correct. John Dodson. John Dodson knocked him out. $2,000 points on the board for E-Combo. And they are starting Mighty Mouse pound for pound. I agree. And I put Mighty Mouse over John because, of course, Mighty Mouse never tested positive for anything suspicious. Same thing with George St Pierre. He's right there for me. Those are my 1 and 2. Demetrius Johnson and George St Pierre. I don't know that there's a right answer as to who is better, but they are announcing now Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor.
These two gladiators will stop at nothing. They guide 16 men with
Michael Chandler, of course, 3-time Bellator champion, has been nothing but Mr. Excitement since entering the UFC with wars with Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, that incredible debut knockout of Dan Hooker. He's also an incredible battle with the former champion, fought for the championship against Charles Oliveira. Guy's been nothing but excitement since coming in. I would have to say CM Punk is the best UFC fighter of all time. Oh my goodness. Billy, I love you, man. Lovely game, guys. All respect. Thank you, Jay Rivera. Thanks for coming in, brother. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right. Let's throw another question out before we get into all the fighters' announcements and things. This female was the first tough girl after defeating Rose Namajunas in the finale. So first female tough season, it was Rose Namajunas and this fighter who defeated Rose Namajunas to win the Ultimate Fighter. E-Combo beat you, Bill. Yes, Carla Esparza. Cookie Monster. Oh, E-Combo. 3K. It's a battle between Billy and E-Combo right now. All right, let's throw one out there. One more out there before we start the Ultimate Fighter thing here. Who defeated Kimbo Slice in his first fight on TUF? It was week 1 of heavyweights. Who defeated Kimbo Slice in his first fight on TUF? And then beat Rose again in one of the worst title fights ever. Dude, one of the worst fights in the history of the UFC. That was so bad. It's number 1 for me as far as worst. Even worse than Lewis and Ngannou. Oh, Billy had it. He beats you this time. Rivera and E-Combo both knew it. A lot of knowledge in the house tonight. But Billy Hughes was first. Yes, Roy Nelson. All right, 8,000 for E-Combo, 8,000 for Billy Hughes, 3,000 for E-Combo, 1,000 for Jay Rivera. And we're going to go into the house because we're going to make some picks here, I think.
Try to bring in the best coaches with the most knowledge.
We have 16 fighters in the house tonight.
As far as your training, but
you have 8 veterans and 8 prospects. This is the first time they have ever done this. They've had veterans in the house before. As I mentioned, season 4, the comeback was all second chance guys. Of course, there's been a ton of prospects. As we mentioned, 13 eventual UFC champions have came from TUF. Most of them prospects, all except for Matt Serra. There's guys that have been in the UFC, though, that are coming in here. Bonus question, who did Roy Nelson beat in that season's finale? J.R. Ferris says Big Baby.
2013, the guy has just been on a rocket ship to the top.
You give it to him with Big Baby, Billy?
In a little over 3 years, he became the first fighter to ever hold belts in 2 different weight classes.
All right. Cheers, guys. Open up. What's everybody drinking? Eating, smoking tonight. Let's get some brew. After a hard day of work or whatever it is you had to do today, we pour these booze and we drink these booze because they are yummy. Down the hola, bitchola. Cheers.
But now that he's ready to make his big return, there is nobody better to face coming off the last 2
Ramen for me. What's up? Chess Next Chess Channel. Are you a chess master? I love chess, man. Not very good at it. Connor can't even stop drinking. Dude ain't the same. Yeah, I I agree with you there on PR. My money's on Chandler. I know a lot of people are picking Conor already to win that fight, including, two of his past opponents. One guy that's faced both of them, and Eddie Alvarez, is picking Conor. Can't remember his real name because of how disappointed I was in him. Yeah, Brandon Schaub. I don't know who was. Honestly, that's hilarious. Nah, I'm straight trash at chess. Love the game though. Nice. Yeah, I'm horrible, man. But yeah, I love playing.
135 prospects and 155 prospects. I'm gonna flip the coin.
All right, this is the coin flip for the pick. I'm gonna turn up the volume on this.
Michael Chandler. So whoever wins the coin toss gets the first pick, and whichever coach gets the first pick. Let's say they pick the 135 division first. I want the 135 vets. All the vets go to that coach. Then the rest of the 135s go to the other coach. Then he will get the next pick, whether he wants vets or prospects.
Oh, wow.
The winning coach gets to make the first pick.
Okay, so whoever wins this.
So Conor wins the coin toss. Conor, you get the pick.
Prospects 55.
Conor wins the coin toss, and he picks the prospects at 155. So all new guys, all more coachable guys.
Because vets have been here, done it. I'm confident in the young guns.
I think, in my opinion, but
155-pound UFC
obviously you got a lot of advantages with the vets too. They've been here. A lot of these guys have already been in the UFC. Guys on this season like Brad Katona, Roosevelt Roberts, Austin Hubbard, Mr. Paige Van Zandt, as we used to call him. He was married to Paige Van Zandt. Had a pretty good career over there in Bellator too, if I'm thinking of the same guy.
You guys are all talented, but I'm doing 135 vets.
Prospects against vets. Let's go, boys.
Wow, so Michael Chandler gets the second pick, and he picks 135 vets. So Conor will have all of the prospects. Chandler will have all of the veterans. So this is going to be all veterans versus prospects. I like that. I think it's going to create more entertaining fights because the prospects, they're going to be faster, they're going to be more athletic, and they're going to make more mistakes, which makes for more interesting fights, in my opinion. Austin Vanderford. Yeah, I started wondering if I was wrong on that. Thank you, Billy. I think I've said that a few times, and then I remembered that was not the case. So I apologize. Wrong Austin.
There's many things that I love about this competition.
It says if Conor shows up, right? I don't think Conor will win, says Little Oreo. As a fighter, I can't be too jacked to move better, and Conor's exactly what you shouldn't be at the moment. Bro is jacked. Yeah, we've very rarely seen fighters that just look crazy jacked be great. Your Mero was pretty good. Never did end up getting the championship, though. All right, so here are the prospects for Conor McGregor. Let's go through this bantamweights. And I have some notes here, so I'm going to actually go through and I'll be able to give you guys a little bit more history on all of these guys. So here is at bantamweight. We got Trevor Wells. Trevor Wells, 27 years old, 8-3 in MMA. 27-year-old flyweight. He is a flyweight. He's going to be fighting at bantamweight, of course, now. He's gone 4-0 in his last 4 fights. That's what we know about him. Mondo Gutierrez, 8-2 in MMA. He is a 25-year-old prospect. He fought in Dana White's Contender Series in September of 2022. Next, we have Carlos Vera. Carlos Vera, he considered a prospect, but he is 35 years old. He spent his last 2 years with Fury FC. He's won all 4 fights. He is 12-3 overall in MMA. Next prospect is Rico Disculio, 36 years old, still considered a prospect. He was on Dana White's Contender Series back in June of 2018. He is 11-2 in MMA overall. 5th bantamweight prospect, Landon Quinones. Landon Quinones. I don't think I have any information on him. I do not. So that may have been a replacement for Kurt Holloway, because I don't see Holloway on here. Anyways, on to Aaron McKenzie. Aaron McKenzie, 34 years old, sporting a 4-fight winning streak in LFA. Excuse me, Landon Quinones. Here I have him. He's a 26-year-old. He had fought at lightweight before. That's why I have him there. He is 5-0 with Titan FC. Nate Gemmerman. That is going to be the 7th of 8 fighters. Nate Gemmerman, 30-year-old lightweight. He's fighting a bantamweight now, of course. He's won 3 in a row with the NAFC and PFL. He's 16-5 in MMA overall. Lee Hammond. That is going to be the 8th and final prospect at bantamweight here for Conor. 27-year-old. He fought in flyweight for Bellator, HFL, and SLM. Winning all 4 of his fights. He is 4-0 in MMA overall.
Chandler will be coaching all the.
So now we got Chandler with the vets. I back this up a frame. If you guys are watching along, if you want, you can pause it with me.
Evaluate you. After they do, they're going to rank you 1 through 4. Then 1 will fight 4, 2.
So they're ranking them. If you could hear what Dana was saying, he was saying,
I get the opportunity to coach them to become the Ultimate Fighter, and that's what excites me.
You got 1 through 4. You got.
You get to pick 35 vets or prospects. Which one do you want?
4 will fight 1.
Tomorrow, your coaches are going to take you back. They're going to put you through a
2 will fight
session.
3.
They're going to evaluate you. After they do, they're going to rank you 1 through 4. Then 1 will fight 4.
ESPN and ESPN Plus.
We'll do a
On
coin
ESPN
toss
2 and then there, yes.
Who fights when? All right.
Just put up the list they show on Line of the Cast,
There's
Mike.
many things that I love about this competition. Number 1, it does what it was designed to do. The best always rise to the top. This competition has produced.
Yeah, it's in the description of the video.
This whole thing could explode and blood could boil over.
Thank you, Bill. Anyways, we will go through this.
Sparks are going to be flying, and it's going to be.
Austin Hubbard's going to be one of these guys, 15-6 in MMA, 31-year-old, lightweight. He was actually in the UFC, released in May of 2022. Oh, and here is the TUF House. The TUF House, always beautiful. There is the jacuzzi. There's the outdoor swimming pool. Will there be alcohol?
As always, I expect things to get a little crazy between the teams.
Will there be alcohol? I do not know. There's bantamweight Mondo Gutierrez walking in. Oh, I love the artwork on the walls here. Of course, the 30th anniversary of the UFC, and this is, you know, I think it's a special year for the UFC. I mean, it's a special year for me. I've been watching the UFC, you know, watching UFC from the very beginning. And as you mentioned, I was watching The Ultimate Fighter from the very beginning. So I'm glad they took the break because it was getting stale. And I'm also glad that they have us here, though. That they're back. On your TV, phone, tablet, you choose. Yes. Oh, Billy Hughes with the first donation of the night. We got the super chat. Thank you, Billy Hughes, for the $5 donation.
experience, and these guys don't have.
I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
Thank you, Billy. First donation of the night. You can hit if you want to help the show going, help. You know, I buy the pay-per-views. You pay for a lot of different services and different things to keep this going. I appreciate everybody watching. If you can donate on top of it, that is greatly appreciated. So through Super Chat, or you can hit me up on Cash App at Seattle Mike, just like it says right underneath Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler there. How does this work? When are they fighting? I don't know. They haven't announced, I don't think yet, when they're actually fighting. I'm glad I paused it earlier now because I can fast forward through the commercials. So that's kind of nice. I hate commercials. I know nobody's a fan of commercials, but I especially hate commercials. Yes, it's on ESPN and ESPN Plus. So usually there'll be at least one fight, probably 2 fights each episode. I don't know if there's going to be a fight the first episode. We're going to see. I think it's kind of been different depending on the season. Coaches haven't agreed on a fight. Oh, Conor and Chandler. Yeah, they have not agreed on a date yet. So I was thinking of the fighters there. All right, Season 8 winner. There you go, Ryan Bader in the house talking. I'm kind of surprised that they are embracing some of these guys that are no longer in the UFC and signed with different organizations recently, because I seen Eddie Alvarez in the UFC TUF pre-show. Of course, he last fought for ONE FC. He is a free agent now. I think he's going the bare knuckle route now here for a little while. I'm not sure if he's going to be in MMA too. I think he wants to be. Heard not until December. What's up, Robert Kerrigan? Drunken Charge in the house. Hit the thumbs up and ring the bell. Thank you, Billy. When is Adesanya fighting next? He does not have a fight scheduled yet. Dricus du Plessis and Robert Whittaker are set to fight. The winner of that is supposed to be fighting Israel, but I know Israel wants to fight quickly, so I think they might throw somebody in between. In the meantime, there are rumors that they would. I don't know who that would be, though. Because you have Alex Pereira making his debut-ish in a light heavyweight against Jan Blachowicz. So Dana has said he's definitely moving up. Dana said a lot of things that don't come to fruition, but is Adesanya get a main event, the next Australia card? Yeah, but I don't know who against. We don't know who against yet. First order of business, fire your striking coach, Chandler. He needs to wrestle, man. And that's one of the things Eddie Alvarez said when breaking it down. He's like, you need to go for that double leg early and often. I would test that surgically repaired knee of Conor. Of course, he's got some metal in his leg now. I don't see him being the same. Nobody's came back the same. Even Anderson Silva couldn't come back the same after having that leg snap. And I think Anderson Silva is at least the biggest. That's a good question, Billy. I have no idea. Because that just showed up earlier. Something with my lighting? No, it's not the lighting. Huh. I thought maybe it was the lighting, but yeah, I think I might have accidentally edited that in somehow. But I don't know how. Probably when I was putting the money on there. No, that didn't do it. Huh.
I think he's passionate about this whole opportunity for us, and he's really trying to win this competition, have us win. I brought my coaching staff, my team that's been with me all the way. My head coach John has been with me from the very beginning. My coach Roddy as well. I got my boss Phil getting the best advice.
Yeah, you know how great I am with technology. Billy bought me a bunch of great stuff. Still didn't. I still suck at technology. But yeah, Billy Hughes actually bought me the green screen, the lighting, the soundboard I use here, and everything donated to the channel. So shout out to Billy. Thanks for all that. As part of the UFC background. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that now. No, it's still on there after I take away the UFC back. I don't know. All right, first pick. Here we go.
Roosevelt Roberts.
All right, Roosevelt Roberts.
Roosevelt Roberts. His mixture of talent and toughness.
Michael Chandler's picked Roosevelt Roberts with his first pick. So Roosevelt, 29-year-old lightweight, last fought in an Eagle FC. May of 2022, was victorious over Alexander Almeida. 12-3 in MMA. He's going to be taking on Mondo Gutierrez.
Next we're going 155, number 2, Austin Hubbard.
155, number 2, Austin Hubbard.
I'll go my number 1 bantamweight, Mando.
That means it's my number 4, bantamweight, Cody Gibson.
So Mondo Gutierrez versus Cody Gibson, number 1 versus 4.
The coaches noticed that I'm a serious threat to win this whole competition, so I'm ready to go out there and prove them right.
All right, next we're going 135, veteran, number 2, Brad Katona.
So number 2, Brad Katona, UFC veteran.
Good fight this one, good fight, very good.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go my 1 lightweight Lee. He's a teammate of mine many, many years. He's been training with me since he's a kid. He's got some great skills.
All right, Lee is Connor's number 1.
Showcasing them.
It's our 4 lightweight, Kurt Halabaugh.
And Kurt Halabaugh.
I don't know much about Lee.
Go, Lee.
But I know I looked him in the eye today and I stared right through his soul. He did not want to be standing there in front of me.
I'm going 155, vet, number 1, Jason Knight.
Jason Knight.
My number 4 lightweight, Landon.
My coach looks at me and I'm who he picked to win this thing. We're going to war, baby.
And they'll take number
do
4,
in my power
Lander, but Jason Knight,
My 4 bantamweight, Rico.
lightweight veteran, Rico,
That means it's my number 1, bantamweight, Hunter.
against Hunter Azure. Ooh, that's a good matchup.
Let's go, gentlemen. Good luck.
All right, there is the board. So, number 2, Nate Jennerman. That'll be the first fight against number 3. McGregor's number 2, Nate Jennerman versus number 3, Roosevelt Roberts. McGregor's number 2, Trevor Wells versus number 3, Timur Valiev. Number 3, McKenzie from the McGregor team. Aaron McKenzie will take on number 2, Austin Hubbard. McGregor's number 1 at bantamweight will take Mondo Gutierrez will take on number 4, Cody Gibson. McGregor's number 3, Carlos Vera, will take on Chandler's number 2, Brad Katona. McGregor's number 1, Lee Hammond, who he has trained with, will take on Chandler's number 4, Kurt Halabaugh. McGregor's number 4, Landon Quinones, will take on veteran Jason Knight, which is his number 1. And then the other number 4s and number 1 will be McGregor's Rico Discula, prospect against veteran Hunter Azure. I think this could be a very even match. I could see a lot of I could see it going about half prospects and half veterans winning.
First 8 fights are set, and kicking things off is going to be Team Chandler's Roosevelt Roberts who was a Contender Series alum with 8 UFC fights under his belt, against prospect Nate Jennerman from Team McGregor. A great matchup.
All right, Nate Jennerman, just a prospect. Roosevelt Roberts, a veteran of 8 UFC fights. That's our first fight, boys and girls. Oh, the line disappeared. I don't know. I don't know what the hell that was all about. Some kind of OBS thing or something. I don't know. It's gone now, though, I guess.
One picture of Mariah, Kanan, and Esme sitting in a little
It was a
swing
slam
chair.
dunk. Roberto was going to be seated. Yes. I did see Sam Alvey won.
The hardest thing is just
Called out the brawl, but yeah, he won impressively. So that was good. Roberts has been on the commercials, and who's going to be first fight? I don't know. They haven't. I haven't heard him say. I'm assuming that they will have a fight now because we still got 30 minutes left in the show.
Sheboygan is the inlet surf capital of the world. And we're driving down past North Point. We're hoping to see.
So they're going to go through Nate Jennerman's life a little bit here, but I'll just take you guys.
Just getting a little walk-in down
We'll
here.
go through the notes I have here on Nate Jennerman. 30 years old. As I mentioned, he's won 3 fights in a row earlier with the NAFC. I'm not sure where that is, honestly. And then PFL. Of course, we know PFL. Nate Jennerman, 16-5 overall.
I still work part-time right now. I work preload at UPS.
Still works part-time. Nate Jennerman working at UPS. I know that'll keep you in shape. I have friends that work UPS. I've done some delivery stuff myself as side gigs.
So I'm there for kids jiu-jitsu, adults jiu-jitsu.
Keeps you moving.
Adult kickboxing program.
His opponent, Roosevelt Roberts. So this guy, 29-year-old lightweight. He last fought in Eagle FC, May of 2022. He's victorious over Alexander Almeida. He had 8 fights in the UFC. He's 12-3 as a mixed martial artist.
My dad was an alcoholic.
I got to take Roosevelt Roberts in this fight.
I found the gym and the training, man, I fell in love with it right away.
I mean, I didn't know a whole lot about Nate Jennerman before, but like we said, 3 wins in a row in NAFC and PFL. They're showing some of his AXS TV fights now.
I have 2 titles.
LFA, Caged Aggression.
LFA title fight. Lost myself mentally.
Fought for the title in LFA, said he kind of crumbled under the pressure there.
I had some injuries that I just were lingering and I had to let heal up.
Put Roberts' fight on the side instead of coaches in case that fight takes place.
I'm at 55 now.
Yes, I will. Thank you. What's up, Juan Carlos Perez Lopez? Thanks for coming in, brother. Actually, I'm going to put them both up because I think it's important to have Conor important to have the coaches up there because they're such big names.
This is our last dinner together. Ever. She'll leave me while I'm in the tough house.
I make no promises.
It's just my time and I've got that chip and I'm ready to just wreak havoc.
But yeah, let's get it up here. Oops.
Did you mail this?
Leland is our messenger pigeon. What?
Oh my god.
This is mostly secure. Mostly fairly secure. Yes, sir.
This is crazy.
You know what else is?
All right, as we mentioned, Nate Jennerman, 16-5, fought for the title over there, as we talked about at LFA. But Roosevelt Roberts, I think, just really one of the favorites to win this whole thing. (11-3) overall, including 8 fights in the UFC. Really, I mean, he's really one of the, the class of this whole thing. What's up, Juan? Good evening, sir. Tell them what being. Anyone got a streaming site? If anybody does, put it on the Facebook group. If you're not part of the Fights of Friends Facebook group, guys, we have a lot of knowledgeable people in this group, a lot of huge MMA fans. So go ahead and go join that now. I can't put links or anything here on YouTube, but I can't stop any of our veterans in here from putting them on our Facebook group page. So that's about all I can say. What's up, Eric? At 9 it will be. The whole thing's only an hour, so I think we got to have a fight here within a few minutes. Who are these commercials supposed to appeal to, right? I always love it how when you watch sports, the most athletic fighters in the world, and they advertise like the crappiest food in the world, all these fast food things and stuff.
Like everything I was going through from like that 2 years to 2 years. And like sometimes when I find myself down, I'll go back and I'll read some pages. And like I'll see like a little bit of progress that I had from what I was then.
Always fun to watch these guys in the house. Roosevelt Roberts talking now about his
lost in like not taking my career seriously.
His experience. He was in the TUF 28 finale actually.
My record in the UFC was 4-4.
So he was 4-4 in the UFC. Beat prospect Brock Weaver. He actually, I believe, won season 28.
That was a tough dude.
So interesting, he won in the past, kind of got pushed out of the UFC, and
I got knocked out. I kind of already knew
here he is.
Career at that point was done.
Back again, and I mean, he got knocked out with a highlight reel knockout, spinning wheel kick to the face.
By a debut guy.
Then he got submitted by Stephen Kroom, and that was that was the lights out for him at that moment. He had to leave the UFC. Ended up in a couple of other places. As I mentioned, he ended up in Eagle FC last May of 2022. I think Eagle FC is no longer a thing now. Khabib kind of left it. I don't think it's coming back. Gentlemen, is Conor's number 2, so Conor has high hopes in him. Well, I think he's going to lose, but never know how many different types of tampons existed until UFC commercials forced the answer on me. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious, PR. All right, and there is the Apex. Now, as much as I like the Apex, I know there's a lot of big fight fans and things in here and stuff. I hope we can start getting events out of the Apex, though, and to more cities. Bring it back to Seattle for one, or whatever hometown you guys are from. All right, yes, let's go back to some trivia while we're waiting in the wings. Good idea, Billy. All right, everybody, refresh your browsers. And I'll count down to 5. I'll give you guys a few more seconds in case somebody's behind in the chat. I don't want to start asking questions, when people still refreshing. So I'll try to give you a few more seconds. But as soon as you hear this, make sure and refresh. That way you're on time, right on the time for the trivia. So 5, 4, 3. All right, give it a another second here. Are we ready? All right, back to trivia. So far, Billy was winning trivia. 8,000 points. Econ Bowen second with 3,000. Jay Rivera on the board with 1,000. All right, next question up. What season did Michael Bisping win? He would eventually become UFC champion. What season of TUF was Michael Bisping on, though? And he won the entire thing. What season was it? Hopefully without Googling. Yes, Billy. Season 3. And Billy cleaning up on the trivia tonight. That's 9. Billy must be in a winning mood. Winning mood like his Denver Nuggets. Congratulations on that. Your Denver Nuggets defeating the Boston Celtics, going to the NBA championship. I'm happy for you, man. That's freaking awesome. Always so fun to have your team go to the championship. He was on Team Ortiz and beat Matt Hamill. Yes? Yes, he was. All right. Next question's also about Michael Bisping. Who did Michael Bisping beat to win the UFC championship? He would eventually win a UFC championship by knockout. Who did he defeat in that matchup? Yep, your Nuggets beat the Lakers. I know. Swept the Lakers and then beat the Celtics, right? Luke Rockhold. No, it wasn't the Celtics. No, who was the Celtics face? Yeah, you guys beat the Lakers. I don't pay that much attention to NBA. I was just watching the Nuggets. Oh, PR had it first. Luke. It's PR on the board. With 1,000 points. All right, next question up. Who did Forrest Griffin defeat to win the light heavyweight championship? Forrest Griffin would also become a champion from the Ultimate Fighter. Who did he defeat to win that championship? He would coach against him first. Yes, Billy. Quentin Rampage Jackson. Playing the Heat in the finals. Yeah, I'm sorry. Celtics were playing the Heat, I believe, right? East West Coast. I'll stop. I stopped watching NBA when my Sonics left, so. But I might have to watch some. We might have to do, if you'll do some commentary with me, we'll do some Nuggets games. So that's 10 on the night for Billy. This is a rout. Come on, somebody else has got to get in here. All right, season 13 winner, Tony Ferguson, won the interim lightweight championship against this Detroit native. Who did season 13 winner Tony Ferguson defeat to win the interim lightweight championship? Update on TUF, there will be a fight. Thank you, Billy. Yes, Roosevelt Roberts and Nate Jennerman in the wings. Yes, Kevin Lee. The Motown phenom Kevin Lee. That's 11 for Billy. Wow. All right. In season 26, this is a deep cut. So let's, I'm going to make this one worth 5,000 because this is a deep cut. So make sure you're paying attention. In season 26, this female fighter came to Eddie Alvarez to let him know she was switching teams. She had made notes for all of the different fighters, but she said, hey, I went to the blue team's practice this morning and I decided, I need to switch teams. They had a conversation. It was pretty emotional at the time. I know Eddie Alvarez wasn't real happy about it. But this female fighter eventually would have several fights in the UFC. I believe she still is in the UFC. It's not Roxanne Modafferi. Conor gonna man up and fight Chandler, actually. He says he is.
I'm going to be taking out Roosevelt Roberts for sure.
All right, Nate Jennerman says, I'll be taking out Roosevelt Roberts for sure. All right. They're getting to the fight. No, not Eubanks. All right, I'm going to repeat the question because this is for 5,000 points, guys. In season 26, this female fighter came to Eddie Alvarez to let him know she was switching teams. If you watched the UFC TUF pre-show, they talked about this. I don't know, then anybody know? All right, guys, it was Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy was the fighter. Ye Comenza. Sorry, my Spanish is absolutely horrible. Next answer, Googled it. All right. Who was the tough fighter who had the... let's make this one... This is going to be worth 3,000. But it also could be a speed test. Who was the tough fighter who had the infamous "Let me bang bro" rant? What tough fighter had the infamous "Let me bang bro" rant? Oh, Mex555. Lauren Murphy, you got it, but you were too far behind, man. I already gave away the answer. For 3,000 points, what tough fighter gave the infamous... Oh, Lucky 13, you are correct. Julian Lane. Lucky 13 on the board at 3K. All right, and there is Roosevelt Roberts warming up there. They got to start this fight here any moment here.
13, 14. No, I just kind of got caught up in all the drama inside the household, my mom, my dad.
So congrats, Lucky 13.
And redo it. But all the stuff that happened in my life made me who I am today.
On the 3K. All right, let's throw another one out here. For $3,000, once again, what fighter on season 1 sprayed a drunk Chris Lieben with a water hose after calling him a fatherless bastard? What tough fighter sprayed Chris Lieben with a water hose after calling him a fatherless bastard? Season 1. Billy Hughes, you are correct. Bobby Southworth. Well, Southworth and Koscheck were both involved in it, and they're both messing. And that's why I didn't like Koscheck for a while, was because I was the Lieben fan. I mean, you'd have been just as right. I mean, Lieben did enough of his own BS to, just kind of depended on who you picked there. And I was a Lieben fan because I liked knockout guys. And Koscheck was a wrestler at the time. I just wasn't as into wrestling. All right, let's throw another one out there. Also, season 1, I know for guys that haven't watched this a lot, for 5,000 points, this man yelled at Diego Sanchez in the house. He was very upset with Diego Sanchez because Diego had taken all of the asparagus tips, just the tips of the asparagus, out of the refrigerator and put them in the blender and then tried to play dumb like he didn't know what he had done. Oh, Greg Brimstone, you are correct, sir. The late, great Stephen Bonner. What's up, Torin? Won't be here for too long. Got to get up 7:30 a.m. for work. I hear you. Hey, don't be a wuss. I'll be up at 2 a.m. No, I'm just messing with you. I took a long nap. Best moment in tough history. It was up there, man. Jeff Mills Lane, yes. When is the first match? Here any moment. I think it's after this commercial break. It'll be Roosevelt Roberts versus Nate Jennerman. Gotta be any minute here because I think the show's almost over. But what's going on, Greg, my man? Torin, good to see you, my brother. Did I say that was for 3 or 5? I said it was for 5K, right? Yes. All right, let's throw another one out there for 3K. What? TUF? Oh, Mike doing play-by-play for TUF finally. Yes. Oh, we got a donation. What's up? Transatlantic Whirlwind. Rooting for Chandler and the boys. Thank you for the donation, sir. So this old new emote thing on the side? What do you mean emote? Oh, what's happened so far in TUF? No, they haven't gotten a confrontation yet. They just picked the teams, set up the first fight, which will be Roosevelt Roberts and Nate Jennerman. Veteran versus prospect. So Chandler picked all of the veterans, bantamweight and lightweight. Conor has the prospects. Obviously, in my opinion, there's big advantages to both. I think it's, I think there's more coaching as far as the prospects, the veterans, kind of set in their way some. I'm sure they can still definitely pick something for Michael Chandler's mind. You know, he's a great UFC veteran now, a 3-time Bellator lightweight champion.
Fighter 31, Chandler versus McGregor, weigh in. First fight.
Except for suplex him in his neck is now a balloon. All right, weigh in. So Roosevelt Roberts stepping up to the scale.
I don't know where Conor is. To me, the first weigh-in seemed like it was pretty, important.
We have had a few weight misses in the history of TUF. Roosevelt Roberts.
So Roosevelt Roberts popped onto our radar around 2018. We signed him to a contract. He had a decent run of fights, but after back-to-back losses, we ended up releasing him. $156.
156. That's within the 1 pound allowance. Roosevelt Roberts eligible to fight.
Since being away from the UFC, and I'm excited to see, what he's going to do now that
Now Nate Jennerman will step up to the scale.
Let's go, Nate. Let's go, Nate. That's Nate, baby. Let's go. Even though he's not fought in the UFC, Nate's got a lot of fights. He's a dangerous submission specialist, and he could be trouble if he manages to get on the inside. This should be a great fight to kick off the season. 155 and a half. Let's go.
155 and a half. Nate Jennerman. All right, fights are on. Oh, I have an emote button on a live chat. You can see. Oh, yeah. I noticed that recently, too. I don't know when it came, but I noticed it a few streams back. It is pretty new. One more donation. Mike's ESPN Plus membership is covered for June. Come on, guys. We can do it. Thank you, Billy. Yep, $3 away. Been there a few weeks, Greg. Yeah, it's pretty new, though. Yeah, just a few weeks, I think. All right. Any picks? Roosevelt Roberts, Nate Jennerman. From what you guys know about them. What's your guys' thoughts on these guys? Roosevelt Roberts, that's the record that they showed for him on BJPen.com. That's obviously incorrect. I guess I look up the Sherdog here in a minute because they just said he was 4-4 when he was in the UFC. Not today, folks. What's up, Jim in the house? I'm picking Roberts by decision. What's going on, Jim? How we doing over there, my Canadian friend? What's everybody drinking, smoking tonight before this fight? We'll have the round up here in a moment. We'll have a fight clock for those of you that are not here on the week. It looks like we have a few new people in the crowd, so thank you for the newbies. Welcome. I hope you subscribe. I hope you stick around. It's a great community. A lot of these guys that are here with us every week. We do I'd say about 48 weekends out of the year. I skip about 4 or 5 weekends out of the year, maybe. I actually skipped the last 2. That was uncharacteristic of me. But last week there was no UFC. There really wasn't much going on. Picking Roberts by decision. I got to take Roosevelt Roberts, too. Only coughing, nothing else. Poor today. I hear you, Jim. Well, I hope your finances get better, buddy. I hope you're blessed financially. 23 up in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you can hit that subscribe button, guys. I think we have the best MMA community on YouTube. A lot of hardcores. Oh, Billy, you just went and did it. Guess I would carry the load again. Team Chandler for the win. So Billy kicking ass in trivia, kicking ass in donations. Just kicking ass all over the place today. Oh, now my super chat money button works. All right, we did it. We got to the 10. Billy donated 10. 10 of the 12. Tomorrow I will be. Hey, you donate a lot, Jim. No hard feelings. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the like. All right, guys, here we go. The prospect actually older than the veteran. Nate Jennerman, 1 year older at 29. Roosevelt Roberts, 2 inches taller at 6'2". He'll have a 2-inch reach advantage at 73 inches. Who in the hell is 6'2" and 155 pounds? And a fighter. What's this about? That is wild. All right, here we go, guys. Round 1. Jennerman in the blue trunks. Roberts in the red. Oh, 1-2 from Roberts. Jennerman's down. It's all over. Roosevelt Roberts starches Nate Jennerman in the first round. Do you want to be a fucking fighter? Wow.
Congrats.
Wow, wow, wow.
You got knocked the fuck out!
The right hand to the temple from Roosevelt Roberts, and that put Nate Jennerman out. The hammer fist afterwards, probably unnecessary, but keep going until the referee pulls you off. Mark Smith calls a stop to this contest just seconds into this fight.
That's essentially what happened.
What's up, PBR Street Gang in the house? Yes, crazy. Hello, my man.
Made it quick. That was a fast fight. One of the fastest knockouts in TUF history for sure. A massive win.
Wow, I don't know what the fastest TUF. I don't know what the fastest knockout in TUF history is.
So that was an impressive.
That's got to be up there.
To the competition.
That was 15 seconds or less.
We have a knockout. Let's go. Winner, moving on. Both bell.
They didn't say the time. You just said knockout winner. Roosevelt Roberts, but that was around 15 seconds. And Team Chandler, chalk one up for Team Chandler. 1-0 and chalk one up for the old guys, the veteran, Roosevelt Roberts. Moving on, Nate Jetterman, better luck next time. Yes, but 15 seconds. Hit the like button for that massive KO, right? That was a massive KO. Big knockout and a fun first night of TUF, I think. And now the aftermath for Nate Jetterman. Of course, some tears and
just got clipped right off the rip.
to come all this way and get clipped in the first few seconds of a fight, you gotta feel bad for him.
Right now, I'm just kind of down on myself.
I think the worst part of it would be losing, especially this early, and then having to stick around.
You know what I mean? You gotta keep moving. Back to the gym, keep moving for real.
Because they can't let him leave because obviously, you know, this is already recorded. They would give it away. Oh, Ahmed Sandoval, what's up, my friend? Focusing on my fitness and health. Wish me luck, fellas. Hey, good luck, my man.
Just one fight. On to the next.
$5 donation. Thank you very much, sir.
Win for UFC veterans. Next up, Team McGregor's number 2 bantamweight Trevor Wells takes on Chandler's number 3 bantamweight Timur Vallier. This was a great start to this competition.
On this season of the
Wow. So fight set for next week. But today, Roosevelt Roberts and Team Chandler are victorious. Wow, and now you gotta eat, you gotta sleep, you gotta live in the same house. And Conor just handed a handful of cash to somebody's kid, I think it was. The kid was about maybe 12 years old. He just gave him like $500.
So it's a grade 2 MCL tear.
Hey, put me in there with your boy. I'll be the team here today, going tomorrow, yeah?
You've shown us a little bit of
Preview there, talked about an MCL tear from somebody. Looked like it might have been Chandler. Conor already leaked months ago. His team was a more dominant team. Ruined tough for me. Fook and Conor. Yes, don't spoil it, Robert. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything, though. He's you can bet on these fights, so technically he's not allowed to ruin anything. And he could have just been messing with everybody. But fun first night. They got post-TUF here. We're going to have a little bit of post-TUF talk show. We're going to open up the phone lines. For those of you who haven't been here before, yes, we have call-ins.
I'm Dean Thomas. Episode 1 is officially in the books.
We have call-ins. Whatever you guys want to talk about. You can talk about TUF. We can talk about, past fights, upcoming fights, whatever you guys want to talk about. We can talk about boxing matches coming up. If you guys want to talk about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford coming up, you can do that, but call in. The number is right there above the tips there, 425-791-8730. Hopefully you guys can read that. Maybe I'll put that over in the in the black actually there. That way it's easier to read. So 425-791-8730, that is the number here at Fights with Friends. You guys pick the topic. Everybody, you got, if you call in, you got about 2 minutes. So kind of think about what you're going to say. Usually it takes one person to call. Then once the first person calls, the phones are ringing off the hook. So we'll try to move people along. If people are calling in, some nights people don't feel like calling in, and that's fine too. Let's talk heavyweight boxing. Who's next for Wilder? It looks like Anthony Joshua. That fight looks to be the fight. I had wanted to see Wilder and Francis Ngannou, but talking about boxing, talking about... Oh, here we go. We got a call. We got Mission, Texas here. You're on Fights with Friends.
Fights with Friends fam. How's it going?
Hey, good. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, man, this is Ahmed.
Hey, Ahmed.
Hey, I want to say I've been a huge fan of the show. This is like the best fan-friendly Fights with Friend, I want to say, community there is on YouTube.
Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the donation tonight.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, I just want to say real quick what a dogfight I'm expecting Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje is going to be.
Oh, man.
I'm so excited for that fight.
Absolutely. Me as well. Who do you think wins that?
I got it on DP on my boy Dustin Poirier.
It's he won the first one, and he's a great technical fighter.
I know, and I feel like, he's heading just in his prime. Even though he had a few previous losses for the championship, I still think he has a lot more dog in him than we give him credit for.
Yeah, he's been a little quiet for a little while. I'm not sure if there was, he was maybe spending some time with family behind the scenes. But I'm glad to see him back in there.
Oh, yeah, I've been a huge fan. Did he fight in the WEC, by the way?
I think he may have. I don't remember, to be honest. He might have, because it was there was no lightweight division, in the UFC before WEC came in. So
yeah, I remember. I've been following his career since way back then. Then, when before the UFC had the featherweights and the bantamweights and the flyweights in their division, WEC, they were in charge of it. But man, I'm so stoked for that fight. I've been telling everyone at my gym. I've been telling my friends. I've been posting it on social media. And I just had a call here because I know everybody else feels the exact same way.
Nice. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a really fan-friendly fight. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, Ahmed. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that fight as well.
Yes, sir. Anytime. Have a great night.
All right, you too. Thanks, Ahmed.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Gaethje fought in Gaethje fought in World Series of Fighting, yeah. Want to see Andrew Ruiz fight Fury? Just the height difference is enough to make a spectacle. I don't think that's competitive, though. I think Tyson Fury will pick Andy Ruiz apart. And I like Andrew Ruiz a lot. If Andrew Ruiz is in shape, of course, he knocked out Anthony Joshua in that first fight. One of the biggest upsets at the time, odds-wise, in boxing history. If you remember, myself and several of the people I think in the chat said, hey, Andrew Ruiz has got a really good chance to win this fight. I didn't put my money where my mouth was, unfortunately. But, and then Joshua came back and won the rematch. Ruiz ballooned out of, got out of shape. I hope he comes in shape. And if Tyson underestimates him, Andrew Ruiz, he's a motherfucker. Shot is wearing a Kumite shirt. I want one. Yeah, those are pretty sweet. Gaethje versus Poirier and Spence versus Crawford is on the same night. Thoughts, everyone? Thoughts, I hope those fights don't end up being at the exact same time. But if they can time them to be the exact same time, the UFC will make sure they do. That's their game, and I hate it. I hate it because I want to watch both of those fights so bad. All right, we had Ahmed call in. We'll hang out a few more minutes if anybody's got anything to talk about. 425-791-8730. Ahmed talked about the Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje fight coming up. I agree with him. It's one of the most anticipated fights so far of this year. It is a rematch. Dustin won the first one. I do think Justin's a little smarter fighter than he was the first time, so I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. It could go either way for sure, but a very competitive fight. Errol Spence and Gaethje takes it that night. I got to go with Crawford on that one, Robert. Dustin and Justin, I'm going to wait to call that one. I have an idea of who I think might win, but I'm going to wait to call that one. Yes. Billy says, Robert, call in. Yeah, anybody who wants to call in? I'll give it you guys a few more minutes, and then if not, we'll wrap this up. Hopefully, we'll be doing most of these TUFs. Most of the TUFs throughout the year. Don't forget this next Saturday, though, we got UFC returns. And one of my favorite fighters finally coming back, Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, will be back in the cage in the co-main event. So that's going to be a fun one, but the main event is Kai Kara France, Amir Albazi, New Zealand versus Iraq. Dead even odds. It's a -110 pick'em on both sides. Co-main event, you got Alex Caceres and Daniel Pineda. Very competitive featherweight fight. Oh, man. Caceres is a -175 favorite. Pineda +150, just a slight underdog there. That could go either way. Jim Miller, talk about veteran versus prospect. We have veteran versus prospect in the Ultimate Fighter. Next week in our our magical 3-spot, as we say on here, Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon, of course, a lot of people believe, defeated a certain popular Irish fighter recently, but was not given the decision. He'll be taking on veteran Jim Miller. Jared Gordon will come in a -190 favorite in that fight. After that, a lot of people thought he got robbed against Paddy Pimblett. Jim Miller, the veteran, the +160 underdog. Maybe his last fight before UFC 300. He said he wants to fight on UFC 300. Hey, he might get one or two more in before then. But I know he wants to be one of the only fighters to fight it. I think he would be the only fighter to fight at UFC 1, 2, and 300. Then you got Tim Elliott, veteran. He comes in an underdog, -175 against Mexico's Victor Altamirano, who is Tim Elliott is the favorite, -175. Underdog Victor Altamirano, +150. Also, Abubakar Nurmagomedov taking on Elizo dos Santos. That is also a -110 pick'em. Former heavyweight champion Andrei Arlovsky taking on Dontel Mays. Odds are almost even on that one as well. Starting out, though, I think this is a sleeper fight of the week. Felipe Lins of Russia, former PFL light heavyweight champion, taking on Maxim Grisham. Odds almost even on that as well. Lins, a slight favorite at -135. Maxim Grisham, the +115 underdog. Man, another great fight there. Jim says, no way, Robert. Poirier KOs him. Next pay-per-view, what is the card? It's going to be Nunez versus... oh, God. Why can I not remember? That tells you... Irene Aldana. That's the Canada card. Vancouver, Canada. I know I mentioned I'll do about 45-ish weekends of the year. Charles Oliveira also taking on Beneil Dariush in the co-main event. That's good. Dan Ige, Nate Landwehr. Kind of a top-heavy card here in Canada. But I will not be able to do that one. My nephew will be graduating from high school, so I gotta attend that, guys. Only graduated from high school once, so gotta be at my nephew's graduation there in Walla Walla, or in Pasco. Excuse me, Pasco, Washington. Got her name, rooting for her because I'm Mexican. Ha, says Ahmed. Beneil versus Charlie Olives is going to be insane. Agreed. Din Tom's making fun of Conor and USADA testing pool was hilarious. This After Tough is new, right? They had some kind of After Tough show, but it wasn't the same. It was something different. They did have something afterwards, though, the last few seasons. Joe Rogan going to call the pay-per-view since it's in Canada. I'm not sure. Our graduations were last weekend. Yeah, they go late over here compared to, like, I know California and a lot of other states. Guys do realize I say things just to see if I get a rise out of anyone.
What's the weight now, Michael? 87, 86? You say 87, 86. You say it as in 187, 86.
I got you. All right, I got an early morning tomorrow. It's 8:15 here on the West Coast, but I plan on being up at like 1 or 2 a.m. I took a good nap earlier, but I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. Pay-per-view and fights of friends is way more important than some kid walking across stage. Well, I will tell him you said that, Billy. And since you might be moving over here to Seattle, you'll probably meet him eventually. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is the first time we've done Tough in a long time. I hope you join us Saturday for the UFC this Saturday. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses next time.